to our first ever episode of A Look into Leadership FMWF with Satari and guests. Well, we're so excited that you decided to tune in today. I am Satari Campion, Director of Programs at the FMWF Chamber. I run the leadership program here, and I'm joined by some amazing guests that we're going to dive into intros here in a second, but we're here to talk about the opening of our application for the leadership program for the 2025 class. So today the goal is that you would hear a little bit more about our program, get some tips for applying to our program, and then hear some advice from alumni on what to expect and where to go. So we're really excited you're here. Let's dive in. So Annie, why don't we start with you? If you could just tell us who you are, when you graduated from the program, and what your role has been as you became an alumni.
Awesome. I'll try and remember all those.
Well, I can remind you.
That's perfect.
Name.
All right. I'm Annie Verdal. I currently work for Denswise Sorona as a regional business manager for a sales team. I graduated from the program in 2020 and have since then been part of the committee and now have the opportunity to serve as chair.
Awesome. You got it all. That's amazing. I love it. We're really excited you're here. Annie and I get to work very closely together, as do our next guest and I. Just by default, we do a lot together. So Roxanne, why don't you tell us who you are and what you've been up to as an alumni?
Yeah, I'm Roxanne Mullenberg. I am a project manager at Cornerstone Bank. I graduated from the program in 2019 and like Annie has served on the committee ever since then. So my primary focus is recruitment and awareness.
I love it. I love it. These two are rock stars. We're so lucky to have them here, and I've learned a ton from them, so I know you will too. So, like I mentioned, our application's open on Friday, February 16th. Are you guys excited? Yeah. I'm excited. So we're going to cover 3 topics. We're going to give you an overview of what this program is, a little bit more about the application, and then we're going to give you just a little bit of advice. So our leadership program is a 10-month professional development program that covers topics from community engagement to professional development to goal setting, public speaking, crucial conversations. You name it, we'll probably cover it. We meet once a month for a full day. We bring in speakers, do panels, tours, and we even go do a team building day at the ropes course, which is super fun, right guys? Yes. Yeah. But we know that there are a lot of leadership programs in the community. It's one of the things that makes the Fargo-Moorhead West Fargo community so strong, I believe. So Annie, can you talk to the listeners a little bit about what sets this Chambers program apart from the other wonderful programs in our community?
Yeah, absolutely. So being part of this program and have been part of other leadership programs throughout my education and whatnot going into the community, the thing that really sets us apart is the complete integration of all of the other businesses and other influential people within the community. So it doesn't just stay into that group of 40 people. Mm-hmm. All of the knowledge and information is brought in from a variety of sources, and you're able to see a huge variety of views and opinions, maybe even on the same topics, but just different lenses of looking at it. I love that. So that to me was always super important. And also, on top of them just coming in and bringing their thoughts and opinions, you have access to areas within the Fargo community where we host these sessions that you wouldn't normally.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so true. We couldn't do this program without our partnerships, and we're so grateful for that. We like to really say if you maybe have done some of the other amazing programs, you're not overqualified or disqualified from completing this one. And what we really like to say is this is one where if you're starting to plant your roots in the community, whether you're an emerging leader, an already engaged leader, or what, you can start to plant roots because you're going to learn from and see more of our community. So we get the question a lot. Well, I born and raised here. I grew up here. So I already know the community. What am I going to benefit? So Roxanne, can you touch a little bit on that piece?
Yeah, I'm that person. I lived here my entire life, born and raised, went to college here, got my master's here. So like, this is my bubble. But I learned so much more about this community, places, industries that I didn't even know that we had here. It was such a wide range of learning opportunities for me. And I actually felt more connected to the community after going through the program and seeing everything we have to offer.
Yeah, for sure. I love that piece. I'm not from here. Did college nearby and spent some time here, but to hear that it is a program that touches lives from people who are new to people who have been here their whole lives, that is the goal. And so I'd love to hear that we're succeeding at it, for sure. Yes. Awesome. Well, we're really only scratching the surface. If you're interested in learning more about the various topics we cover, you can find that on the website, fmwfchamber.com/leadership. It's also where the application lives. So if you're ready after hearing this mount, go on, get started. I want to dive in a little bit more into our application process. So a lot of people wonder, after I apply, how long will it take to hear? What are the next steps? So our applications open February 16th, and you have until March 14th to complete them. So just under a month. And remember, February is a short month, so even less, a few weeks. From there, we have an amazing group of people who are on our selection committee. Both of you serve on that, which is awesome. They'll take the time to review applications, dig in really deep to your answers, and then we move into interviews and then final selection. So all of that said and done will be in May. So we move pretty quickly, but the application isn't a light lift, right? We want to make sure that people are taking their time and getting the most thoughtful answers they can. So from each of you, I would love if we could do a tip for tackling the application. So what is your pro tip for anyone listening today to tackle this application? Roxanne, why don't you go first?
I would say have somebody read it over. And, from their perspective on you, you might not be expressing yourself or sharing enough about you. I think it's always hard for us to brag about ourselves.
Yeah.
And share how awesome we are. So I think having somebody read through it and making sure you're highlighting everything you have to offer to not only the program, but to the other cohort, to members of the group and the class. I just think there's so much opportunity for someone to give feedback.
That's a great tip. We'll call that phone a friend. Phone a friend. Yep. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome. Great tip. Annie, what about you?
I think my tip would be take your time. I think in the hustle bustle of our day-to-day lives, it's just another thing to mark off your list of things to do. I found that going through, having reviewed a ton of these applications as well as gone through my own, if people would have just slept on it one night or two and come back to it, they are more able or more likely to avoid those very basic answers that they assume people want to read on a leadership application. Really make it authentic to yourself and not based on just what you think we want to hear.
Totally. That's a great tip. I think we've all been guilty of that, right? Where we're so excited, so eager. We get in the day it opens and we submit it the day it opens. But I love that. Let it sit, let it settle, sleep on it, call a friend, have them review your answers, and then feel confident hitting that submit button. That's awesome.
And if I can just add to
Absolutely.
what Annie said, we don't have a set criteria for who we want in this program. So that's why we want that uniqueness. We don't want to hear what you expect us to hear because honestly, we don't know what we want to hear.
Yeah.
We are open to people of all sorts of age ranges, industries, all sorts of backgrounds. So we want the variety. We want that diversity in our class so we can all learn from each other.
That's such a great point. Such a great point. We're not looking for a cookie cutter, 40 individuals who are all the same with the same background, for the same job and the same life. We want a well-rounded group so we can learn from each other as we dive in. That's awesome. Okay, last but certainly not least, we've talked about the program. We've talked about the process. What about our people out there that are just nervous? They're thinking, why? Why should I do this? What will push them over that line to get started, to take the dive and at least take a chance on themselves to apply? what advice would you have, or maybe a favorite memory from the program? Any final just nuggets of gold that would make someone want to be in the leadership program? Whoever wants to go first.
I was thinking, yeah, I can start it. I'm like, the things that were coming to mind when you were saying that, I'm like, invest in yourself and know your worth. You are going to be a critical part of this program. You have something to offer others. So don't be afraid to share it. So apply, become part of our program. And if you don't make it in, apply again. Yeah. Again, we know there's so many people that have so much to offer. So it's exciting. Invest in yourself. Long story short.
Yeah, I love that advice. Awesome.
I think for me, it's getting out of your bubble. So I've been in the finance world for 25 years. So I know bankers. I know those types of individuals. This program gives you an opportunity to grow and to not only grow personally and professionally, but just understand more about the world, more about the community, and just learn more. I love it.
That's amazing. I have learned so much from both of you, and I will echo that sentiment. Take a chance on yourself. Get out of your bubble. You never know who's in the building next to yours that you could be lifelong network pals with, what connections they're going to give you, or you them. And so we're so excited. We can't believe it's already application time, February 16th. Applications will be open, ready for business. You can find that application at fmwfchamber.com/leadership. It'll be great. It's gonna be great. One last thing I want to say, that if you enjoyed this, we're going to be putting out more information. Listening sessions will be visited from different alumni, whether like from committees, not on the committees. We're going to talk a little bit more about the sessions and topics we dive into. We'll talk about our project we work on throughout the year. That's another thing that sets us apart from others. And we'll probably have a little bit of fun like we did today. So if you have any questions, you can find me on the Chamber website or on the leadership page. And we hope to see your application in February. Bye.
Bye.